Shocking. Shy librarian's amazing ACT transforms crying girl on plane into unforgettable bond, Emily Reynolds. A 32-year-old librarian from the petite town of Maplewood clutched her worn paperback novel like a lifeline as she stepped into the airport terminal. An internal storm raged within her, tossing aside her usual calm. The wedding of her estranged sister loomed ahead, a reminder of family fractures embedded deep in her heart. She felt like a ghost in her own family, a quiet specter drifting through life while others dazzled with warmth and laughter. As she boarded the plane, her palms were slick with anxiety. She settled into her seat, stealing glances around the cabin until her eyes landed on 9-year-old Mia, sitting alone 2 rows in front. Mia's tear-streaked face stirred ancient echoes of loss within Emily echoes of a childhood marred by silence and separation. It struck her then. The simple act of kindness, like a beacon, could illuminate the darkest corners of despair. Listening to the laughter and chatter enveloping the cabin, Emily contemplated her next move. Summoning every ounce of courage, she took a deep breath, her heart racing as she approached Mia. "Hey there," she said softly, her voice trembling ever so slightly. Mia looked up, vulnerability etched into her features. "Everything okay?" Emily asked, attempting to connect. Mia sniffled. "I said goodbye to my foster family," she whispered, her voice like a brittle leaf caught in the wind. A pang gripped Emily's chest. The stories of Emily's childhood spilled forth, tales of rainy afternoons lost in books, dreams of traveling far away, and the ache of feeling out of place during family gatherings. Mia's eyes widened, sparkles of recognition flashing through her sadness. "You feel it too?" she said, a tentative smile breaking through the clouds of tears. Emily nodded, her heart swelling with empathy as the weight of isolation began to lift ever so slightly. They shared fears, hopeful whispers of belonging and what a true home could be. Laughter bubbled between them, momentarily warding off the dark shadows of their pasts. It felt like a radiant spark amid the turbulence of life, both women reaching out to grasp that light. Just then, the plane lurched, rattling and shaking, stirring anxiety in every corner of the cabin. Emily gasped. The memories of abandonment crashed over her like a tidal wave. Mia's eyes widened with fear. The connection began to tremble, frail as a strand of spider silk caught in a storm. That in that moment of chaos, it seemed all hope might be lost. But then, Mia let out a giggle, clear and bright. The sound sliced through the turbulence like a knife, laughter wrapping around them like a warm embrace. A ripple of shared joy spread across the cabin as the tension broke, soothing anxious minds, temporarily silencing the fears. Yet, as the plane steadied, Emily's thoughts wandered back to the impending family reunion. Her heart raced even faster at the thought of facing the unresolved family tensions she had harbored for years. Would she find the strength to confront her past? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Mia's laughter echoed in Emily's heart, an unexpected beacon guiding her through the haze of uncertainty that awaited them both on the ground. As the cabin settled, the warm bond they had forged soared above their troubled lives. Would this moment become a catalyst for healing, or would it vanish like wisps of cloud under a relentless sun? As their flight soared toward the unknown, the weight on Emily's shoulders felt a bit lighter, stitching together 2 lonely hearts in one moment of connection. A soft rumble echoed through the cabin as the plane leveled off, the world below stretching out like a patchwork quilt of fields and towns. Emily settled back in her seat, her fingers tracing the fabric of her novel, but the words swirled in her mind, lost in a haze of emotions. She glanced toward Mia, still radiating innocent joy amidst the lingering turbulence. It was remarkable how a simple connection could shift the weight of heavy hearts. "Do you really think I'll find a family again?" Mia's voice broke through Emily's thoughts, pearly innocence sharp with a hint of unease. Emily didn't miss the undercurrent of dread in her young companion's question. What I've learned, sweet girl, Emily began, choosing her words carefully, is that family isn't always about blood. Can be about who loves you and makes you feel wanted. Emily felt a warming sensation bubble in her chest, knowing that although both women were grappling with their own scars, hope sparked through their connection. Mia looked up at her, her bright blue eyes filling with curiosity. Really? Like friends can be family? Exactly. Emily smiled, her own heart softening. Sometimes friends become the family we choose. And the love you give and receive well, that's what truly counts. As if to emphasize her point, a joyful chatter erupted from the seats behind them, a group of children celebrating a birthday mid-flight. Colorful balloons bobbed in the air, laughter spilling out like sunshine. Emily couldn't help but chuckle at the vibrant contrast against the solemnity that had filled their talk. Mia turned, wide-eyed, captivated by the joyous spectacle. Do you think they are happy? Mia asked, and there was a wistfulness in her voice that tugged at Emily's heartstrings. She could picture Mia fitting perfectly into a vibrant family, full of love and support, where joy was abundant. Of course, Emily replied, a bright smile finding its way to her face. Look at how they're celebrating. And just like them, you can find your own happiness too. It's out there for you. Before Mia could respond, the plane's captain came over the intercom announcing their descent. Emily felt the familiar clutch of anxiety grip her once again, the reality of arrival looming large. As they descended through a patchy cloud cover, uncertainty loomed just as heavy as before. What awaited them on the ground? For Emily, the thought of her sister's wedding was charged with unspoken words and unresolved feelings. Emily? Mia's timid voice pulled her back from her spiraling thoughts. Will you be okay? The vulnerability in Mia's tone struck at Emily's core. She focused on the girl, who had navigated the turbulence better than any adult could. I think so, Emily said, surprising herself with the conviction in her voice. You know, it's okay to be scared. But we have each other now, don't we? Mia gave an enthusiastic nod. That connection between them felt strong and grounding. As they shared a quiet moment, Emily realized it was more than just kindness that tied them together. It was understanding and empathy. Can we be friends? Mia whispered, eyes wide and earnest. Of course we can, Emily said, her heart swelling with warmth. Just because we're on different paths doesn't mean we can't walk together for a while. As the plane touched down, flaring lights of the airport flooded the cabin. The passengers around them began to gather their belongings, a vivid contrast to the stillness enveloping Emily and Mia. The moment was a realization that bigger battles lay ahead for both of them, but together they had a little more strength to face their uncertainties as they stepped into the terminal. A new chapter awaited them, one fraught with the echoes of their respective pasts. Emily's mind swirled with thoughts of her sister, the impending reunion, and the unresolved conflicts that could easily arise. But with Mia by her side, maybe for the first time, she felt a flicker of hope. Perhaps something beautiful could emerge from the mess. Stepping out into the chaos of the airport, both Emily and Mia held their breath, feeling the electric tension of new beginnings. Would they find the solace and belonging they desperately craved in the arms of their families? And what lessons might they learn from each other as their journeys intertwined? The airport was a whirlwind of sounds and sights, a tapestry of excitement and urgency. Travelers rushed past, dragging luggage behind them like emotional anchors. Emily glanced down at Mia, who was gripping her hand tightly, eyes wide with wonder and a touch of fear as they stepped into the bustling crowd. Stick close to me, Emily instructed, pulling the little girl slightly closer. Mia nodded, her jaw set with resolve. The anxiety mixed with excitement formed a tight knot in Emily's stomach, but she drew strength from Mia's small presence beside her as they made their way through the terminal. Emily's phone buzzed vigorously in her pocket. She pulled it out, heart flipping when she saw her sister's name lighting up the screen. With a shaky breath, she answered. Emma, you made it. Emma's voice bubbled with enthusiasm, a welcome contrast to Emily's unease. Yeah, we just landed. Emily smiled, trying to match her sister's energy. I'm really looking forward to seeing you. Me too. Just be ready. Okay? Mom's already asking about the seating arrangement. She thinks things should be perfect, you know how she can be. Emma laughed, but the note of seriousness still lurked beneath. They both understood the looming tension in their family. Right? Emily replied softly, the weight of expectations settling on her shoulders. I'll get there ASAP. They hung up, and Emily felt a sudden wave of panic. Would her sister truly understand her fears? Or would their past grievances surface anew during the wedding festivities? She looked down at Mia, who was now staring at a travel poster for Hawaii, her small brows furrowing in thought. What's wrong? Emily asked gently. I was just thinking, if families can be friends, maybe I can have a family too? The innocent question struck Emily like lightning. Here was Mia, grappling with her own heartache while offering wisdom far beyond her years. Absolutely, Emily replied, her heart swelling. You deserve every bit of love and joy, Mia. Just remember to keep your heart open. Sometimes, family shows up in the most unexpected places. A soft smile spread across Mia's face, a reflection of hope. Just then, a commotion broke out nearby, a child crying that pulled their attention. The little boy seemed lost, panic-stricken, while his parents frantically searched for him. Something inside Emily shifted. It reminded her of the day she had lost her own way once. She knelt beside Mia and said, "Want to help him?" Mia's eyes lit up. Yes. Together, they approached the distressed boy. Hey there. Don't worry, Emily spoke softly, dropping to his eye level. We're here to help you find your parents. Mia chimed in confidently, What's your name? The boy sniffled, Aiden. Okay. Aiden, Emily said. Can you tell us where you last saw them? As Aiden conveyed his last memories of his parents, Emily glanced at Mia, who seemed to draw strength from the unfolding scene. After a few tense moments, they spotted a couple waving frantically at the end of a terminal. With a sigh of relief, Emily, Mia, and Aiden rushed over, finally reuniting him with his distraught parents. As they exchanged grateful hugs, a feeling of warmth enveloped Emily. This was what it meant to be part of a community. To uplift one another when it mattered most, even if the bond was fleeting. Mia tugged at her sleeve wide-eyed. That felt good. Didn't it? It really did, Emily admitted, her heart lighter. With the hectic atmosphere of the airport fading into shadows, they felt a little stronger and a little more prepared. As they exited into the bright sunlight, both girls inhaled deeply, basking in a moment of clarity, a shared resolve. But just before they reached the exit doors, Emily's phone buzzed again. Willing herself to take a deep breath, she answered. The voice on the other end was unexpected, echoing with a tinge of uncertainty. Emily? Is Dad? Those words hung over her like a cloud, heavy with unspoken feelings. Would this be another chance or just another disappointment? As she looked down at Mia, ready to step into one of the most significant moments of her life, the unanswered questions loomed larger than ever. What would their reunion mean for them? Emily felt the weight of her father's voice pulling at distant memories. The last time they had spoken, the conversation had spiraled into painful territory, leaving her filled with unresolved emotions. This time maybe it would be different. Mia, just a sec. Okay? Emily knelt down and tucked a stray hair behind Mia's ear. Why don't you wait outside? I'll catch up in a minute. Mia nodded, concern etched on her small face, but she obeyed, stepping a few paces away. Emily cherished the moment of space. It gave her the chance to breathe, steadying her racing heart before she faced her father. Hey, Dad. It's nice to hear from you. Emily forced the words out, tasting their awkwardness. Yeah, same, he replied, his voice scratchy. Listen, I just wanted to check in before everything. I know it's been a while. She swallowed hard, searching for the right response. They hadn't truly checked in with each other in years. Not since the split that left their family splintered. Are you coming to the wedding? She asked, remembering how Emma had painted a picture of a perfect day. Your mother and I decided that we should both be there. For you and Emma, he said, and although the words trailed off, the implication lingered painfully in the silence that stretched between them. Emily's heart sank but flared with defiance. So, a family reunion then? She offered, trying to infuse lightness into their shaky ground. Yeah, I hope it doesn't turn into something worse, he chuckled weakly. I'd hate to upset the bride, again. She took a deep breath, attempting to reconcile the fear of past conflicts. Just let us try to keep it together for them. For Emma and Mom. Agreed, he said, sounding more earnest. I've been working on myself, Em. I know I've hurt you both, and I want to make it up to you. Emily's heart tightened. She wanted to believe him but had learned not to shape her hope around his words. Still, there was a tremor of something within her, a flicker of hope fighting to be heard. I appreciate that. But it'll take time, Dad. Trust is hard to rebuild. I know, he replied softly. But I'm willing to try. She studied the crowd moving past her, feeling the rush of hope and doubt warring within her. Would this be the chance she had longed for? Or just another cycle of promises unkept? Okay, she said slowly, closing her eyes for a moment. Let us take this one day at a time. Looking forward to it then, he responded, his voice warm with sincerity. As she hung up, a wave of mixed emotions washed over Emily. She turned to look for Mia, who was still peering through the glass doors, nervously twisting her hair with small fingers. Emily approached her, kneeling to meet her gaze. Hey, everything's okay. It was just a little family chat. Mia's eyes widened in curiosity. Did he say he loves you? Emily's heart twisted at the innocence of the question. He did say he wants to make things better. She managed, searching for the right words to explain without burdening her. Then he must love you, Mia declared, her voice all certainty despite the complex emotions swirling around them. Emily smiled, the warmth of Mia's conviction wrapping around her like a warm blanket. You know, Mia, sometimes love is messy, and sometimes it takes time to show it. Mia nodded, squinting up at the bright sunshine streaming through the doors. Like how you helped that boy. Exactly, Emily said, realization dawning. Mia's innocent perspective was a reminder that love isn't just about smooth paths, it's about navigating the bumps, too. Taking Mia's hand, Emily stepped forward, ready to embrace whatever lay ahead. But the moment felt heavy. The anticipation of their family gathering stirred a multitude of feelings that threatened to spill over. Let us go find Aunt Emma, Emily suggested, trying to shift the tone. Just as they made their way toward the exit, a loud announcement over the intercom caught their attention. Travelers on Flight 304 to Chicago, please prepare for boarding. Emily felt a sudden urge to move, an urgency propelling her forward. But before they could take another step, a familiar face appeared from the crowd, sending shivers down her spine. Emily, is that really you? It was her mother. The past raced into the present, leaving a swirling storm of unresolved emotions in its wake. Would they find a way to bridge the chasm, or would old wounds reopen as they finally came face to face? Emily felt her breath catch in her throat. This was the moment she had both yearned for and dreaded. Her mother stood there, a mixture of surprise and pain flickering across her features. The years apart hung heavy in the air, a silent acknowledgement of all the things left unsaid. Mom, the word felt foreign, yet familiar, as if it were pressed into her soul. Her mother stepped closer, her own eyes glistening with unshed tears. I thought I would miss you today. I didn't know I would see you here. I wasn't sure whether to even come. Emily bit her lip, a turmoil of emotions surging within her. You're here now. It felt both like a blessing and a burden, the weight of their shared history crashing over her. You must be so busy getting ready for the wedding, her mother said, her tone softening as she wrapped her arms around Emily. The embrace felt nice but also painful, an ache of memory mingling with the present. She returned it, feeling warmth, but beneath it lay years of regret. It's a little hectic, yeah. Mia, still holding Emily's hand, tugged lightly. Aunt Emma is waiting for us, Mommy. Emily glanced down, realizing that just beyond the storm in her heart, Mia was oblivious to the heaviness in the air. She was a beacon of innocence, a reminder that not all relationships are broken. Why don't we go grab some coffee before you head off? Her mother offered, her voice almost pleading. Emily hesitated, her internal debate echoing louder than the surrounding crowd. She knew this could lead to either healing or more heartache. "I have Mia with me," she said, trying to sound casual, even though every word felt loaded. Her mother looked at Mia with a warm smile. "I'd love to, if that's okay with you, sweetheart." Mia beamed up at her, clearly excited by the prospect of more company. "Sure. I love coffee. Well, I like my hot chocolate." Emily couldn't help but smile at Mia's innocent enthusiasm. "Okay, let us sit for a few minutes." They moved toward a small cafe at the edge of the terminal, the din of the airport fading into a softer buzz. Emily's heart raced. She could feel her mother's gaze on her, searching for unspoken answers. "Things are complicated," her mother started, tentatively, as they sat down. "I wanted to reach out but didn't know how. I figured after all this time, maybe I'd just make things worse." Emily felt a tightness in her chest. "Mom, you can't just walk away and think everything will fall into place. You left. Then Dad left. It's not that simple." Her mother's eyes shimmered, and she nodded slowly. "I know. I'm so sorry for how everything turned out. I really am." Emily could feel the cracks starting to widen. She wanted to tell her mother about the hurt, the abandonment, but Mia's presence anchored her. "Mommy, did you say you know how to make the best cupcakes?" Mia chimed in, excitement bubbling in her voice. Emily turned to Mia, trying to hold on to the innocent light of the moment. "She didn't you?" That innocent question seemed to momentarily lighten the air, laughter breaking through the tense atmosphere. "I might have a recipe or two saved away," her mother replied, the corners of her mouth lifting as the small talk continued. It became clear that the conversation needed to shift. Old wounds were lurking beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to emerge. Just as Emily prepared to express her feelings, a gust of noise burst from the cafe door. A group walked in, their laughter drowning out their words. A fleeting moment of normalcy washed over them, the bustle of life reclaiming its place. But then, just as quickly, her mother reached over, clasping Emily's hand. "Please let us talk about us. About what happened. I don't want you to go into this wedding feeling like there are unfinished things between us." Emily studied her mother's face, seeing the raw vulnerability there like a mirrored version of herself. If facing her mother was like standing on a tightrope, now it felt like it was swaying dangerously. "Okay," Emily finally said, heart pounding. "But it's not going to be easy." At that moment, behind them, loud shout echoed as a small child fell to the ground, tears erupting. Emily turned instinctively, but as she looked back, she saw her mother gazing at her intently, an expression of hope mixed with fear etched on her face. The air grew thick, as if the weight of unshared stories were about to spill over. What if I told you there's something I need you to know?" Emily's breath caught, anticipation and dread coiling inside her. What was her mother about to reveal? What did it mean for everything they were trying to build? Emily met her mother's gaze, a flood of emotions swirling within her. There was something unsteady about the way her mother was looking at her, a plea hidden behind her eyes. "What is it?" she managed to whisper, her voice trembling as she tried to steady herself. Her mother hesitated, her fingers tightening around Emily's. For a split second, it felt as though time stood still. The bustling world around them grew distant, and all that mattered was this fragile moment, two women standing on the precipice of their past. "I didn't just leave because things were hard. Emily, I left because I thought you would be better off without me." The words hung in the air, heavy and pungent, settling deep in Emily's chest. The familiar anger rose, but it was quickly mixed with a fresh wave of sadness. "Better off? You really thought that? You left us in chaos and just hoped everything would magically fix itself?" Her mother's expression shifted, the pain cutting deeper. "I was scared. I thought if I disappeared, you and your father could start fresh. I didn't understand back then how badly I was hurting both of you. I thought giving you space would let you heal." Emily shook her head, struggling to comprehend. "Space? That's what you call it? You left me when I needed you most." Mia, caught in their whirlwind of emotions, snuggled closer to Emily's side, sensing the tension. Please, Em, I know you're angry with me and you have every right to be, but I've spent years regretting that decision. Years wishing I could change it. I've carried the burden of leaving on my shoulders, and I've thought about you every single day. Her mother's voice broke, raw and shaky. Tears pricked at Emily's eyes. But what does that matter now? We can't rewrite history. No, her mother said softly, but I hope we can write a new story together. One where I'm here, not just as a ghost haunting your past, but as your mother trying to figure out how to love you again. Emily studied her mother's face, searching for sincerity amid the hurt. And how do you propose we do that? By talking. Sharing everything we've kept inside for all these years. Time we can't get back, I know, but perhaps we can build something better in the time we have now. A heavy silence enveloped them, overshadowed only by the drone of announcements overhead. The thought of building anew both frightened and intrigued Emily. Could she even allow herself that chance? Mia, oblivious to the fragile intensity of the situation, piped up. You can have cupcake parties. Mommy, we can teach Aunt Emma how to decorate them. Laughter emerged unexpectedly, a lightness breaking through the tension like sun rays after a storm. Emily chuckled, the innocence of Mia's enthusiasm softening the edges of her heart. That sounds like a great idea, her mother said, tears glistening as she smiled at Mia. Maybe we can start today, Emily said, feeling an unfamiliar thrill of hope creeping in. One conversation at a time, cupcake by cupcake. But just as the warmth began to settle in, Emily's phone buzzed fiercely on the table, disrupting their moment. She glanced at the screen, a text from her fiancé, reminding her of last-minute wedding details. The tension returned, heavy and suffocating. With her heart racing, she looked up at her mother. I don't want to push aside what we've just started, but I can't ignore this either. Her mother nodded, understanding etched in her features. Then let us make the most of the little time we have now, and schedule another talk soon. But before you go, the urgency in her mother's voice drew Emily back in. What? I need to tell you exactly what I've learned over these years. There's more to why I left and you deserve to hear it. Emily's breath hitched again. What could possibly be so critical that it had been locked away all this time? The moment felt charged with possibility and dread. Could this turn the tide for them both? Or would it reveal deeper wounds than either was ready to face? Emily leaned in, heart racing, ready for whatever truth her mother was about to unveil. The weight of it all crushed down, but then again, maybe it was time to finally break free. Emily's heart pounded in her chest. Each syllable her mother had spoken felt like a door slowly creaking open, revealing a world she hadn't known existed. She wanted to hear more, to dive deep into the chasm of their past in search of answers. What do you mean? What did you learn? She asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Her mother took a deep breath, glancing around as if to draw strength from the crowded terminal. It was almost as if she needed to gather enough courage to share what had been buried for so long. I learned that sometimes love isn't enough. There are things that can twist and turn you until you don't recognize yourself anymore. My leaving wasn't just a simple act. It was a culmination of years of losing who I was. Emily's brows knitted together. What do you mean? You always seemed so strong. A sad smile flitted across her mother's face. That's the illusion, isn't it? I built a facade to hide my weaknesses. I wanted to be the strong one for you and your father, but instead, I became trapped in my own fears. I thought running away would solve everything, but in truth it only made things worse. But you left us. The anger bubbled up again, each word laced with hurt. You painted a picture of our lives as if they would be fine without you. I was just a kid and you vanished. I know, her mother said, tears glistening in her eyes. I wish I could take it back. I see now how selfish I was, thinking my absence would make you both better. I didn't realize it would leave such a gaping hole. Mia, still nestled into Emily's side, sensed the depth of the conversation. She leaned back, looking between the two women, her innocent eyes narrowing in concern. Mommy, are you and Aunt Emma sad? Emily chuckled softly through her swirling emotions. Not sad, sweetie. We're just talking about some things that are complicated. Complicated, Mia echoed, seemingly unaware of the gravity of the situation but reading the tension in the air. Like how I can't decide between chocolate or vanilla for the cupcakes. A laugh bubbled up, momentarily squeezing the heaviness. But as quickly as joy emerged, it slipped away. The urgency hung heavy again. Emily felt dizzy, her mind racing with the implications of her mother's words. So, if you felt trapped, why come back now? Because I finally figured out that love is also about facing the things you fear. I didn't come here to just sweep away the past. I came because I want to confront it, to apologize and be a part of your life. Emily felt the warmth of her mother's words swirl with doubt and hope. Could she really believe that? Could they rebuild what was lost? Or would the past continually haunt them? And if this doesn't go well? She asked cautiously, unsure of the answer she might hear. We'll deal with that together. I promise, her mother replied, conviction lining her voice. Warmth spread through Emily at that promise, but uncertainty still lingered like a fog. She loved the idea of rebuilding their relationship, but wasn't sure she possessed the strength to withstand another heartbreak. Then, as if reading her thoughts, her mother squeezed her hands once more. I know this is risky, and I'm terrified too. But what if we can find a way to heal? What if this is the moment our story truly begins? With that, Emily took a deep breath, weighing the hope against the pain. Could they really step into this new chapter together? Just then, her phone buzzed again. This time a voicemail alert from her fiancé. Panic flickered across her mind. In that moment, she realized that she was standing at a crossroads. I need to listen to this, she said, glancing back at her mother and Mia. There is so much happening, and I can't ignore it. As she pulled out her phone, her mother's look became one of anxious anticipation mingled with anxiety. Please take your time, her mother whispered, as Emily's finger hovered over the play button. With her heart beating faster than ever, Emily felt a wave of determination wash over her. This was her life. Choices had to be made. Would she peel back old wounds or shield herself under layers of hurt? She pressed play, waiting for the truth to unspool once more, her heart quivering with dread and hope. What would the voice on the other end indicate? Would it lead her closer to clarity or drive even more distance between her and her mother? Emily's thumb trembled against the screen. The voicemail began with a crackle, and her fiancé's familiar voice washed over her, tinged with a mix of urgency and calm. Hey Emily, it's me. I just wanted to check in. I know you've got a lot going on. I'm worried about you. Call me when you can. Her heart twisted. Worry? It echoed through her like a dull drum, resonating with her own fears. The knot in her stomach tightened. She wanted to reach out and reassure him, to tell him everything was okay, but the truth felt miles away. Is everything all right? Her mother's voice brought her back to the moment. The stillness of the terminal surrounded them, people scurrying about, lost in their worlds. Yeah, it's complicated. Each word seemed to weigh heavier than the last. Her mother nodded slowly, as if she understood the burden of those words all too well. Emily glanced at Mia, who was still perched against her side, eyes darting between her mom and her grandmother. The innocence in her child's expression tugged at Emily's heart. She wanted to shield Mia from the storm brewing in her own life. But how could she? Mom, I need to decide what's next, but I don't want to hurt anyone. Remember, sweetheart, every decision holds power. We can't control how others feel, but we can control how we respond. Her mother looked deep into Emily's eyes. There was a strength there, a flicker of the woman Emily had always wanted her to be. I just don't want to let anyone down. Emily's voice trailed off. The weight of expectations of being the perfect fiancée, the loving daughter, the supportive aunt threatened to crush her. Sometimes the hardest thing is being honest with ourselves, her mother said softly. You have to trust your truth, no matter how messy it feels. A tear slid down Emily's cheek unbidden. Her heart ached not just for the past, but for the future that hung precariously in the air. I just don't know how to balance it all anymore. Her mother reached out, tucking a stray hair behind Emily's ear in a gesture that felt both familiar and foreign. You don't have to have all the answers today. Take it one step at a time. Start with the truth, and let the rest unfold. As she looked at her mother, a flicker of possibility ignited a thought that maybe, just maybe, they could find the way back to each other. But doubt still loomed. Just then, Mia's small hand slipped into Emily's. "Mommy? Yes, sweet girl? Can we just go get cupcakes now?" Her innocent query cut through the tension like a warm ray of sunshine. Emily laughed lightly, despite the heaviness. "I think cupcakes sound like a perfect idea." But even as Emily spoke, she felt the tug of loyalty to her fiancé pulling her in the opposite direction. She wanted to call him back, to wrap herself in the safety of his voice. But the pull from her mother, who stood there vulnerable, whispering of healing, felt equally strong. "Emily," her mother said, interrupting her thoughts, "you're at a turning point. Choose what feels right for you, it will guide you." Emily looked at her mother, then at Mia, the little one's exuberance shining through even the uncertain moments. It reminded her that life was meant to be lived, joy found in the chaos. With a sudden rush of resolve, she decided, "Let us go get those cupcakes." Mia squealed with delight, tugging at Emily's hand as they began to walk away from the terminal chaos. Yet, as they stepped outside, the weight in Emily's heart lingered. Would this outing truly help? Would the small smiles they shared pave the way for deeper conversations, for healing? As they approached the nearby cafe, her phone buzzed again, a message from her fiancé. Simple yet heavy. "Where are you? I'm worried." Panic washed over her anew. The crossroads she faced pulsed with uncertainty, each option filled with potential joy or pain. Would this moment of sweetness be the balm she needed, or would it only serve to deepen the wounds of her heart? She felt the air thicken with her next decision, a decision that could affect more than just one person. With a final glance at her mother's hopeful expression, she knew the next steps would lead her somewhere unexpected. But where? The cafe was alive with the rich aroma of freshly baked goods and the chatter of families enjoying their afternoon. Emily stepped inside, the door jingling behind them, and the warmth wrapped around her like a comforting embrace. But even here, amidst the promise of sugary delights, her mind raced with uncertainty. "Wow, look at that," Mia gasped, pointing at a display of brightly frosted cupcakes. Emily smiled, grateful for her daughter's enthusiasm. It was contagious, and for a heartbeat, she felt the weight on her shoulders lift. "What flavor do you want, hon?" Emily asked, bending down to meet Mia's eager gaze. "Sprinkle. With lots of sprinkles." She bounced on her toes, her face lighting up like a firework. Despite the turmoil swirling inside, Emily couldn't help but chuckle at Mia's sincerity. It was moments like these that reminded her of the simple joys still hidden under the surface of her complicated life. "Okay, sprinkle it is. Let us make it a cupcake party," she declared, trying to latch onto the joy of the moment. After ordering, they took a seat at a cozy corner table. Emily watched as Mia savored every sugary bite, the child's laughter bubbling up like soda fizz. In many ways, it was exactly the sort of little joy she needed, if only it could drown out the worry clinging to her like an unwelcome shadow. The chatter turned to a comfortable lull, but Emily's phone buzzed on the table again. She picked it up, her heart thumping as she opened another message from her fiancé. "I'm sorry I bothered you. Call me when you can. I just want to know you're okay." The weight of each word settled more heavily within her. Part of her longed to reach out, to comfort him, to put on the mask of everything being all right. But another part whispered that she owed him the truth, the very thing she was struggling to grasp herself. "What's wrong, Mommy?" Mia's voice cut through her thoughts. Emily's heart squeezed at her daughter's directness. "I'm just thinking," she replied, forcing a smile, "about some grown-up stuff." Mia frowned, tilting her head. "You can talk to me, you know? I'm a pretty good listener." Emily chuckled softly, surprised at how wise her little girl seemed. "I appreciate that, sweetheart. It's just I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Like when I accidentally knocked over Max's block tower at school." Mia interjected, her eyes wide. "I felt super bad. But Miss Kathy said it was okay to make mistakes." As Emily listened, she felt her heart swell. Her daughter was right, sometimes mistakes happened, and sometimes they were just part of life. Exactly, honey, Emily said, her voice softening. We all make mistakes and it's okay. What matters is how we learn and grow from them. Mia nodded, her face serious in a way only a child could muster. Then do the grown-up thing and figure it out, Mommy. It's your turn to be brave. Emily blinked, stunned. Bravery. What a big word from such a small person. Maybe being brave didn't mean having all the answers. Maybe it meant facing the questions head-on like giants she had to confront. Suddenly, guilt crept in again. Could she truly be brave enough to put her own needs first? Quietly, she wished for just a moment of clarity, a sign that pointed her in the right direction. Mia took another big bite of her cupcake, then blurted, "Want some of mine?" Emily looked at the colorful sprinkles that now dotted her daughter's frosting-covered hands. "You sure?" "Yep." "Share makes it more fun." Mia giggled, offering the remaining half to her mother. In that instant, Emily realized something profound. Sharing, whether it was cupcakes or burdens, made the hard stuff lighter. Her finger traced the frosting's edge, and for the first time that day, she allowed kindness to soothe her thoughts. Perhaps sharing her truth with those she loved would ease the storm in her heart. As they exited the cafe, the afternoon sun cast a golden glow, but the buzzing in Emily's pocket was growing persistent. She hesitated, heart racing again as that feeling of dread crept back. Would reaching for her phone shatter this rare moment of peace, or would it lead her toward the clarity she so desperately sought? With Mia at her side, Emily took a deep breath, ready to embrace whatever came next, even if it meant wrestling with the hard truths she had avoided for too long. Because sometimes moving forward meant standing still, and sometimes standing still meant facing the very things that terrified us. What would the next message reveal? And would it push her to confront her truth, or would it lead to more confusion? The landscape ahead shimmered with possibility, but what lay beneath was still clouded in mystery. As Emily stepped out of the cafe, sunlight danced through the trees, creating a warm golden hue that bathed her and Mia in its glow. She took a deep breath, letting the sweet scent of cupcakes fade into the background. The world felt full of potential, and yet her heart was a heavy mix of hope and uncertainty. "Mama, can we go see Aunt Emma now?" Mia's voice broke through her thoughts, filled with innocent eagerness. "Sure, sweetie," Emily replied. She grasped Mia's small hand, feeling the warmth of connection wrap around them like a blanket. Little Mia's comfort reminded Emily of her own uncertainty and fears, the very things she was on the verge of confronting. As they walked toward the meeting point, the bustling airport started to hum with activity, the excited chatter of travelers, the muffled announcements echoing through the corridors. Emily's heart raced. Today was pivotal. It meant facing her family, and perhaps even mending what was once broken. Her phone buzzed again, jolting her from her thoughts. She pulled it out, glancing at the screen. It was another message from her fiancé. "I really care about you. I just want to know you're safe." Emily paused for a moment, the words washing over her like a cool breeze, refreshing yet unsettling. Her heart thumped heavily in her chest. Could she walk into her family reunion while her heart was still tethered to unresolved feelings for him? "Mama?" Mia looked up at her, concern knitting her brows. "Are you okay?" Emily knelt down to meet her daughter's gaze. "I was just thinking about how much I love you," she said, tucking a loose strand of hair behind Mia's ear. "No matter what happens, always remember family is about love and support." Mia smiled radiantly, the kind of smile that could light up the darkest corners. "Like how we're gonna make cupcake parties." "Exactly," Emily laughed lightly, feeling a bit of the weight lift. As they approached the meeting spot, familiar faces became visible. Emily's sister, Emma, stood there, her smile genuinely bright, radiating warmth and excitement. But lurking behind those smiles bubbled a deep swell of emotions, anxieties, waiting to be unveiled. "Emily." "Mia." Emma waved, her enthusiastic voice a wave of comfort. "I was beginning to worry." She bent to hug Mia, easily enveloping her in sisterly love. "Sorry, we got caught up in cupcakes," Emily said with an apologetic grin, her heart racing as she observed Emma's expression change, a mixture of joy and concern, as if she could sense part of the storm brewing within Emily. Emma stepped back instinctively, studying her sister's face. "You okay? You seem a bit off." Emily inhaled deeply. It was now or never. She had to be honest, not just for her own sake, but for Mia's too. The little girl deserved to see her mother brave enough to face her truths. "I'm a bit overwhelmed, to be honest," Emily admitted, her voice trembling just a little. "There's so much history we need to face as a family. I want to heal, but I'm scared." Emma's expression softened, understanding unguarded in her eyes. "I get that. We're all kind of scared, aren't we?" "Yeah," Emily replied, holding Mia's hand tightly. "I don't want us to be a broken family anymore." "Neither do I," Emma nodded, a strong determination forming. "This is our chance, Emily. We can make it right." Before they delved deeper, they heard a loud commotion, nearby families reuniting amidst emotional outbursts, laughter intertwined with tears. Mia turned towards the noise, her innocent face brightening. "Look at all those people hugging. Can we be happy like them?" Emily smiled, her heart swelling. "We will be, sweet girl. We will be." With renewed resolution, they stepped closer to the heart of the airport, embracing the noise and chaos. Emily felt the thrill of unity wash over her, the energy of hope crackling in the air. Together, they could face the impending family gathering. As they moved into the main terminal, she spotted her mother in the distance. Uncertainty coursed through Emily, but she felt Mia squeeze her hand, a source of strength anchoring her in the storm. "Are you ready?" Emma's voice broke through, a question laden with concern. Emily nodded, feeling the fear beginning to dissipate. When it came to love, when it came to family, taking the leap was always worth it. "Yes," she said firmly, her voice steady. "Let us do it. It's time to finally face what we've been avoiding for too long." With Mia holding one hand and Emma supporting her on the other, they stepped toward their family reunion. The joy was palpable even amidst the tension, emotions rising in waves. Together, one step at a time, Emily said, drawing strength from her sister. The airport surged around them, vibrant and full of life, a metaphor for their own journey, chaotic yet beautiful. And as Emily navigated through the throng, she carried hope in her heart, determined to make her family whole again, one conversation at a time. Now, as they prepared to face the music of their pasts, Emily felt something shift deep within her. A quiet strength began to surface, a commitment to embrace both joy and pain with grace. This was their moment, and they were finally ready to begin healing for themselves and for each other. So here's the call to you, dear friends. You need to subscribe now. Don't wait not even one more second to support this channel. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm, helping us continue bringing you these beautiful transformations. Comment your thoughts and emotions about this ending. Let us connect. And remember, share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this powerful journey of love. Only true fans understand how crucial it is to stand with us through support. Let us keep this vibrant community thriving together.